Okay, so this is my speed paint for Boton from Yu Yu Hakusho. I thought I'd talk over it, kind of describe what I'm doing here. So first we're in Photoshop Elements and I'm just picking out my colors. I tend to layer them. It's either like 4 layers. Do a base layer, that's that purple one that just deals with the value, and then the colors that it is, and some highlights and lighting. I use a lot of layer effects like multiply or vivid light to get different effects. I keep switching back and forth between Manga Studio and Photoshop here because I feel like the effects are just a little bit different and Photoshop has a wider variety of them. So I I decided that's why I keep switching back and forth. I keep changing my mind. And I felt like the yellow highlight on her cheek was a little bit too poopy, so I picked a brighter yellow. I kind of left the poop yellow there though, but don't worry, I'll get rid of that. And the eyes. I usually try not to draw the eyes first. It's like my reward for finishing everything else because they're definitely the funnest part to draw, but I don't know why I just drew them first here. I was like, yeah, let's go. Let's draw some eyes. They're so shiny. I don't know what I'm talking about. And I changed the background here a little bit because I felt like that blue was too dull compared to the colors. All the colors in Boton are kind of desaturated, so I thought it'd be fun to have some nice aqua in there, just blazing it up. I do a lot of cleaning up and everything is on one layer, so I'll color one area and then I'll color the area next to it to get the lines to be smooth. You don't have to be precise and try to get exactly in a small corner or right at the tip of the hair because you can just go back with the color that's next to it and kind of sharpen it out. It makes things go way faster and way easier. And that's something that I love about digital painting. You can do it with like regular paint too, with oils. Probably not with watercolors. I'll try that with watercolors. Okay. And I also moved the hair because I felt like it was a little bit warped. And that's another thing I love about digital. You can just pick up things and move them. That doesn't look right. Okay, where's my lasso tool? Come here, friend. So I think also I picked out another really light blue for the highlights in the hair. Originally, that wasn't there, so I added more colors. You don't necessarily have to be restricted to the palette that you get from all these layer effects and the colors you first started out with. The only downside of adding more colors once you've kind of unified them with layer effects is that the new color you get might not look like it doesn't or won't look like it fits, but I think that light blue fit pretty good. Another thing why I choose to, I don't know, because you've got line art. Some people do line art, and I guess you could say there's line art here because there are thick lines. But why I chose not to make it on a separate layer and then color everything in like with cel shading is because just working lines on its own layer, I feel like it's a lot more difficult to manipulate the shape, like if you don't have perfect circle or if you decide that the side of the head you need now is different, it's kind of difficult to go back and change those lines. And especially you could just manipulate thickness, and you can get really nice tapered effects. I don't know, I don't use line art that much, so I'm kind of biased, and I prefer just painting lines around things, I guess. I don't know what I'm talking about. It's probably really confusing. I don't know what else to say. Also, if you look really closely, the skin color, it kind of looks like skin color, but it's actually purple. So she has purple skin. Yeah. I don't know, I think that's pretty interesting. Like, looks like there's sunlight on her little dress thing. I'm not even gonna try to pronounce what it's called in Japanese. So, it looks like it's orange but it is actually a pink color, which is pretty cool. There's like, I don't know, funky colors going on here, and that's usually what happens when you use too many layer effects. You just get some weird colors. Like, they look good together, but you never really would have thought of using purple for the skin. Yeah. I had some real difficulty with the side of her little hair tufts. I don't know. I don't know why. I tried to make it so it would look like it was similar in shape to the other one, but it didn't really match quite like how I felt like it should. Yep. Oh jeez, I totally thought this would be a good idea to talk over. I was like, oh, there's so much to talk about, but this video is like 12 minutes. What am I going to talk about for 12 minutes? Ugh. Oh, I also tried to do the part of her hair because you know you can usually see the part, but with 90s anime hair that just didn't really work. 90s anime hair is also very hard to draw. Okay, so I had a whole bunch of audio recorded. Like, I talked through the whole thing and I don't know why it just cut out there, and I only have like 6 minutes. Now I have to talk over everything again. I don't know what I said. Um, I was talking really good too. Like, I got really into it at the end. Ugh. Just disappeared. Goodbye, audio. Thank you, iMovie. You are my new best friend. Let's go get ice cream sometime. Anyways, looks like we're working on the hair, and I zoomed out so I could see the whole ponytail and work with the whole shape and kind of get colors down because originally there weren't many there to begin with. It's easier to do that usually. And we've got her arm, but actually I think I didn't like this paddle here, so it's like, oh dang, I gotta fix that now. And instead, I just took the layer and I moved it, and I didn't really feel comfortable with it, so I copied the layer, the paddle, and put it on its own layer, and I manipulated everything above my original painting, so if I didn't like it, I could just delete it and be right back where I started. And I also decided to tuck her hands up in her sleeve because Boton always does that, and I think it's very true to her character. So yeah. Oh, oh jeez. Oh, see, here's the highlights, that aren't really orange, that they're pink, that I was talking about earlier. Yeah. Here I rotate the canvas to get better strokes because it's easier to draw lines towards yourself. So if you have these fancy angles going to your left or to your right, it's kind of hard to get those. So rotating your paper or rotating your canvas so the line is facing towards you and you can just stroke towards yourself makes your life so much easier. I think I do that for the paddle. I rotate the canvas. Usually I don't rotate it a lot, but it's definitely a nice trick to have up your sleeve if you're having trouble drawing lines. I don't know, I think it's just really fun to watch me clean up, like, clean up all these lines. I didn't record my sketch at the beginning, if you recall, all the way back. You're like, whoa, magical Boton appeared. There wasn't really yeah. So, usually I don't like recording my sketching process because it's just so messy, and I change things 100 times, and, like, they're not even, they're sketches, what do you expect? Yeah. And I do more changes to the hair because 90s anime hair is so hard to draw. I don't know how. Oh, it's just so poofy. clean up, everybody do their share. Guess what? My audio cut out again. I think it's because I'm recording in iMovie. There's like a little microphone and I clicked it and then it goes over the video. But sometimes my computer does this weird thing. It's a Mac and it'll be in a program, it'll be selected and then it'll just like Finder will pop up and we'll be in Finder and I'll be like, okay, I didn't click on Finder, why do you keep popping up? And then it just gets mad at me and it stops recording. So anyway, here we're coloring for shoes, and I actually think the soles for shoes, the bottom part, were red, so I colored over that orangish looking color. I don't think it's actually orange, it's probably some weird red color. Yeah, I like her shoes. I think her socks had like a line down the middle, but I didn't add that in because I am lazy. And her paddle's pretty square. Like I try to refrain from doing big European paddles, like it's all rounded and it kind of looks like not like that. Like in the rowboats. Paddles of different cultures look different, I learned. And here I'm adding some light to my shadow to give her face a fuller effect. And I'm sure I could have done that with the whole drawing, like with the shadows in her dress and her hair. Then I was like, nah, I'm too lazy. Maybe some other day. Because it took me like 5 days to draw this, man. I think it looked pretty good, though. 5 days. I only drew like 50 minutes each day. It's pretty good at the end.